Thanks for tuning in to the Vintage Cinema Review. On this week's episode, we're covering from 1988, Johnny Be Good.
Oh, the life of a high school football star facing the pressures of choosing a college and the moral decisions of right and wrong.
Yeah, we're talking about Johnny Walker and not the Scotch. This guy's on point, recruited by everybody in the nation.
That's right.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, this is a good football movie. We hope you're enjoying the podcast. If you are, leave us that 5-star rating on Spotify, on Apple. Leave us a written review. And sit back, relax, and enjoy from 1988, Johnny Be Good. Hey, this is Dave.
Matt.
And Zap.
And welcome to the Vintage Cinema Review,
where every week we review some of our favorite films from the past.
Hey, there ain't no late fees here.
Silence is golden. And be kind. Rewind.
Hey, what's in there, baby? It's football season. Whoa.
Well, this is your pick, Matt.
Yes, it is.
Man, there's an element of excitement tonight. Somebody got that coffee in them.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Yeah.
I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah, that was old. It sounds like high school right there.
This does.
High school football.
This sounds like Triple Days.
Football about high school. It's a great one. It's called Johnny Be Good.
Nice. This is Matt's pick.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Zab, you said you, before this, have not seen this movie.
Until yesterday, I had never seen this movie.
And Matt, this is one of your favorites?
It's up there. Like, it's hardly ever on. You never really see it. But I remember there was a time where this like ran off, and I think it was like 8th grade.
Yes.
9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Get you hyped for football season.
This movie gave me false hope that I could go to college for football. Because I just watched it, and I'm like, if that guy can go.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
It's like the one scene, I guess we'll talk about it later, but that one scene, like the skinny guy's like, that guy's on the team. Like, no.
I know. I know exactly which one you're talking about. So, Johnny Be Good, 1988. This was released March 25th, 1988, with a runtime of 1 hour and 31 minutes. Directed by Bud S. Smith. The writers on this, Steve Zacharias, Jeff Buhall, and David Obst. Budget on this, $4 million. Box office, $18.3 million. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
That's-
We've heard better.
That surprises me.
It did. That's what I was going to ask you. What have you thought loss on this, or?
I would have. There was little to no special effects in this. So, I mean, judging by the cinematography and the amount of time spent on the story and the script, I gotta believe that this was a cheap, an inexpensive movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you're not paying. Yeah, there's no big funding.
With the names that were in here, though, I would have thought it would have made more.
Yeah, just because people will go.
But now, having recently watched it, I understand why it didn't make as much.
But that it was Uma Thurman wasn't known at this time. That was what did it say? Introducing Uma Thurman. So this was her first like kind of starring major good-looking girlfriend role.
She wouldn't have been the draw. It would have been Downey and Anthony Michael Hall, because this was after.
This was 88, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So after Weird Science. So this was filmed March to May of 1987. That was pretty quick.
Well, Anthony Michael Hall also did Vacation.
Yeah.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Breakfast Club. Yeah.
So he was a draw.
Definitely was. This was filmed in Texas. Huh. Shocking. I could tell right away.
Yeah.
Football.
So that's pretty much all I have for that. I guess I'll turn it over to Zap for the cast.
All right. The cast of Johnny Be Good includes, but is not limited to, Anthony Michael Hall as Johnny Walker, Robert Downey Jr. as Leo Wiggins, Paul Gleason as Wayne Hisler. That's Coach Wayne Hisler. Uma Thurman as Georgia Elkins. Steve James as Coach Ned Sanders. Not to be confused with Ned Flanders.
No.
Flanders.
Seymour Castle as Wallace Gibson. Michael Green as Tex Wade. Marshall Bell as Chief Elkins. Jennifer Tilly as Connie Hisler.
Yes.
You think?
Jennifer Tilly? Oh my goodness.
You don't like that?
Man. She was okay in the movie.
Yeah.
She was giving it away in the movie, so I'll give it to her for that.
For sure.
Yeah. Michael Aldridge as Vinnie Kroll. Jim McMahon as himself. Howard Cosell as himself. Robert Downey Sr. as NCAA investigator Floyd Gondol.
And I didn't know that was him until
what else the hell was he in? Like nobody really knew him. He was a screenwriter and a director, really.
Yeah, but
or producer or whatever. He wasn't really a star.
I didn't even know until right now he was in the movie.
Yeah.
Dang. That was a surprise, yeah.
Surprise. Deborah May as Mrs. Walker. George Hall as Grandpa Walker. Tim Rossovich as the gas station attendant. John Stafford as Bad Breath. And Peter Koch as Pete Andropoulos.
Yeah, that Bad Breath. He looked like he was like 38.
Yeah,
playing college ball.
He had he had a handlebar mustache,
chest hair,
huge head of hair. Like, yeah, dude,
6-year senior.
He looked like Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, a little bit.
Plays for the Raiders now.
So I don't know if this is in fun facts, and if it is, we can whatever.
No, let's do it.
I look at the ages of these people, and so do you sometimes. Like
absolutely,
to see how old the actors are. So Robert Downey Jr. was born in 1965. This movie came out in 1988, so he was 23.
Yes.
Anthony Michael Hall, I'm pretty sure, was 1968. He was born.
Mm-hmm.
So he was 20 years old at the time.
So he was closer, at least.
Yeah.
But that's any way they cast for these high school movies. They always take even the Beverly Hills 90210. They were like 20 something.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
when they were cast.
What's her name? Whoever played Andrea, she was in her 30s.
Yeah, she was like 32.
I think Uma Thurman was the only like kind of really young one.
Yes, Uma Thurman was born in 1970, which would have made her 18 at this time.
Yes.
Yep.
She was cute. She was cute in the movie.
No, definitely.
Oh, for sure.
I think it was well cast. I think like even the Texas players or the coaches.
Yeah, all that stuff was good.
Yeah. I thought that was done well.
And I remember back in the day being hyped when Jim McMahon came on because he was like a big
Bears,
deal in the 80s. You know?
Well, he was like the bad boy. He used to wear kangaroo. Remember?
Yeah, kangaroo.
He for damn sure did.
He was like sponsored by kangaroo.
So you both have seen this movie. Like I get it, but like Matt, I understand you've watched this a bunch of times.
Yes.
Dave, did you watch this a bunch of times?
I did. When I was a kid, I remember it came out.
Like 8th, 9th grade.
I'm not kidding. When I saw this, I said it as a joke, but I remember seeing this movie thinking, man, I'm gonna go to college for football.
Okay.
Because I mean, if this is what it's like for high school football, then I honestly remember thinking that.
I don't know how I slept on this movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was neat too. Like I remember going to my friend Mike Williams. We both played for
Up the Street.
Yeah. Well, we both played for
what a great guy.
I don't know, can you say 7 stars here, I guess?
Yeah, you can say 7 stars.
Yeah.
What the hell you want? This is America, goddammit.
We both played for 7 stars. I remember it's like 8th grade going into 9th. We used to watch this movie all the time because it was so cool because the same stuff that they wore.
Yeah.
It was like the same bike helmet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you're like, wow, we're there, man. It's like so close. And I relate to what you're saying.
You get exactly what I'm saying. I'm like, that guy? Yeah. We'll get into it though.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it for that. Matt, you have a brief
synopsis of the movie Johnny Be Good. High school quarterback Johnny Walker is being courted by elite colleges nationwide. To get the sports star to enroll, an army of recruiters entices him with everything a young hormonal teenager could want. While his best friend, Leo Wiggins, Robert Downey Jr., advises him to wait for the most lucrative offer, Johnny's girlfriend, Georgia Elkins, played by Uma Thurman, wants him to attend their state college with her. The trouble is the state school has offered him nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Be Good.
Very nice.
That's a good synopsis.
That was a good brief synopsis.
Yeah.
It was.
I like it. Yeah. All right.
Good job, synopsis.
Yeah. Synapses keep on clicking.
All right, so it's 1st and 10 zap. We got the ball. I guess we'll start off here.
Oh, I like what you did there.
All right.
I like that. Hut.
Huddle up.
Punt team. All right.
Get in there, Matt.
Yeah, get in there.
Our movie kicks off with an electrifying high school football game where we first meet our protagonist, Johnny Walker, the star quarterback, leading his team to victory with his remarkable skill and natural talent. The crowd goes wild as he leads his team to decimate their opponents. As the game ends, scouts from top colleges swarm the field, eager to recruit Johnny for their teams. All the while, a mysterious man has been lurking about, sporadically recording notes to himself relative to his observations of the college coaches and recruiters at the game.
I just want to let some of our fans know protagonist means like the main character in the movie.
Yes. Yes, good. Glad you explained.
Yes, I just want because it threw me off there. I had to look that up real quick. I was like, "What the hell is he talking about?"
Like the bad guy.
I was like, "Who's this? Who's this protagonist?
What's he protagonizing him for?" Yeah,
what a crazy person. So I just put that out there for anybody that needs to know. That's a good word. I like that word.
Thank you.
It is clear that Matt focused more on football than English class.
Exactly.
That was a concussion.
So a lot to unpack in the beginning.
A lot to unpack.
So Zap and Matt both. You guys can relate to the team prayer in the beginning, right?
Dude, that prayer was awesome. Dude, so I loved it. I loved it. Because he was like, after the prayer's all over, all right, I'm done talking to God.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
You want to go out there and play like a bunch of, wimps? You go right ahead. And you're going to lose. You want to lose? No, you want to win. Who wants to feel it? Who wants to taste it? Who wants to? And Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, was great.
He's like tasting it. He's like, I want it. But you come to find later on that Robert Downey Jr. is like the Birdo of the
he's
of the team. Like that dude does not play.
But his buddy's like, let's get him in.
He was like,
let's do him a favor.
What can we do to get Leo in? And he's like, he falls down. Coach, I broke my dick.
I like in that speech, he's like, put your foot on their balls.
That's right.
And then he references, which I thought you would like, is about the Russians. Something about the Russians.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, those pinko Russians.
And then no honey on your stingers, the night fellas.
And it kind of reminded us of a coach that we did have, because we had a coach that was very to the book, to the point, wouldn't swear. And then we had another coach that would talk like this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, big time.
He's like, crush him, kill him.
Yeah,
I want you to stomp on their nuts.
Stomp on their nuts.
There was a game, I'll never forget it. We were winning at halftime. It was a varsity game that we were dressed for. I think we were in 10th grade. And we were winning like 45-0 or something like that. It was crazy at halftime. And he was yelling like that.
Yeah.
And we're we're actually winning this game.
Yeah, like we were getting crushed.
It's the thing. I guess you got to get people hyped up. I mean, it's a very physical, active, game. You got to get in the mood, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's part of coaching high school football. I think you need that attitude in order to hype your players.
I can't believe more coaches. We don't see more heart attacks on the side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious, man. Look at Christ. Who's coaching the Kansas City right now?
Andy
Reid. How the hell is he still alive?
Oh, yeah, with the stress, you mean? And then the weight?
The stress and the weight. Not just him. John Madden.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's done.
Well, he's been dead. But when he was coaching, he was still a large gentleman.
Correct. Yeah. So he might be 100 years old right now if he were still alive. I'm saying that, how do these big, massive, fat dudes that are out there hyping these guys up with their heads getting all beat red?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think Andy Reid has a sense of calm to him, because he had a lot of trouble outside of football and stuff with his family, and I think he doesn't let that stuff bother him. I don't know.
Did you guys notice the Confederate flags on the opposing team shoulder pads?
That's Texas, man.
That is Texas.
So how about also Mike McCarthy for the Cowboys? I always look at him and think the same thing, because he's just a big, heavy dude out there. Like, you just look at him like he eats a lot of smoked meats and drinking beer and drawing up plays.
More sausage.
But a couple other things I wrote down from that beginning. I talked about the losers over in Russia. Like I said, I thought you'd probably like that. And then on the way out, he punches the glass.
Sneaky fucking Russians. Oh, yeah. He
smashes it.
The water bottle container.
Yeah, just smashes it.
The water cooler.
Cooler.
And then Matt, you said earlier about the bike helmets.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that right away when I was looking at all their gear. He had the bike helmets with all the stick marks all over it. We used to call it, you get a stick mark when you tackle and stuff like that.
Yeah, be proud of that.
One thing I laughed at, too, was when they were showing the mysterious gentleman you're talking about.
Mysterious.
He was over at the concession stand. There was a player over there getting food, during the game. I was like, God. You know what I mean? That guy's not getting in the game. But you would see that from time to time. I don't think you could get away with that at our high school. Our coaches want to put up with that.
No, but that's an ongoing joke in some of these movies, kind of with the guys over there at the concession stand are
right,
not even paying attention to the game.
I mean, that would have been more.
You're not getting in there.
Pee wee football or something.
Pee wee football.
You would think
do it.
The high school state championship game, you would be over there on the sidelines.
You would think.
That's That's one thing too. It kind of reminded me of like a Teen Wolf or whatever. Like it didn't really seem like a state championship type atmosphere.
I'm glad you said that.
I didn't like that.
What state title game is ever at the home? I'm assuming that was their home field.
Yeah.
It's always at like a neutral location.
Yep.
You know, like Hershey Park.
Same. The Teen Wolf. The very end of that movie is like classic, like the song and everything. The win in the end. But I didn't like it that it was still at the same place they were playing all their high school games.
That made no sense, especially because that gym was like the size of one of our Catholic grade school gyms.
Yep.
And had
where you got to move like all the bingo equipment, just so you can play basketball that day.
So this is pretty much the only live football you see in the whole movie, and they jammed it all in the very beginning, and that's what kind of got me thinking, like, all right, these guys are state champs, and okay, that's all it takes. You know, it was just a little. I remember that being like 12, 13 years old, like, because I was almost there. I was like 7th grade, maybe 6th grade, and I'm like, wow, doesn't look too bad. High school football.
Yep. All right. Well, despite his clear talent and promising future, Johnny is conflicted about his next steps. His girlfriend, Georgia, pressures him to choose a local college so they can stay close and continue their relationship. His best friend, Leo, dreams of them both heading to a prestigious college where they can enjoy the perks and party lifestyle that fame in college sports often brings. Johnny's parents, on the other hand, want him to think about his education and future beyond football. The intense recruitment process begins. We see various recruiters attempting to sway Johnny with elaborate gifts, grand promises, and even outright bribes. One recruiter offers Johnny a brand new car. Another invites him and his friends to lavish parties. And still another school is so interested in him that the coach's wife offers herself to him in flagrante delicto on a warm Texas night in the middle of Old Texas football field. His high school coach, Coach Wayne Hissler, even tries to sell him out by striking a deal with one of the colleges. His inner conflict grows as he grapples with the materialistic allure of some offers versus the moral integrity of others. The mysterious man continues to lurk, continuing to record notes to himself of the goings-on. He's a mysterious man. Let's unwrap some of the offerings that was made to Johnny Walker here.
Also, real quick, flagrante delicto.
Yeah.
That's a Latin phrase.
Jesus Christ.
I just looked this up. It is the very act of committing a misdeed.
So it could be anything.
Just a bad news bears.
Nice. Yeah, there is a lot to unpack in this, in between all that. Did you know that stadium was Cowboys? Did you see the end zone of the Cowboys field?
I did. I'm still laughing at Matt.
Hey, I'm just letting the listeners know. I'm looking out.
Are we anticipating football fans listening to this one?
Well, there'll be a lot of them.
There'll be a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
There'll be a lot of them.
So I did not notice that it was Cowboys field. I was too busy noticing the coaches or the coach's
delecto.
wife trying to get slappy with Johnny Walker in the middle of the field.
That was a great outfit she had on.
Where a limo drove them to the middle of the field where she already had like a couch, blankets,
all set up,
ready to go.
Champagne or whatever that was.
She got out of the limo and she was wiping her mouth. I thought she gave him a,
maybe in the back,
little pleasure.
I don't know.
No, he was into Uma.
I don't know. Like, he knew what was going on.
Yeah. Oh,
He was dancing with her and kissing her at the party. We'll go back to the party.
Oh, the party was nice.
Like that house. That's the part I remember as a kid. I remember the little guy with the sombrero and the chips and sauce.
He walks away.
The little dwarf walking around.
Yeah, that was great.
The nacho hat.
And just the girls in bikinis
with
and all the football
on top.
Yeah, that was great. And then all the football players there that are getting recruited, girls in bikinis and stuff like that. And I just remember, as soon as that part came on, I remember that. I was like, man, they treat you like royalty.
Hell yeah, man! I felt like I was at a P. Diddy party.
But
pretty much.
What's so funny though is when you do look at this, and this was when we were kids, and like today they say about how recruiting and you can't do this and you can't do that, but this stuff was going on since the 70s.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to bring up. Like, any more of this movie really wouldn't make sense because of NIL deals and all that. They're able to give money, do whatever.
Or they can do whatever now. But in '88, all that stuff was completely illegal,
kind of off limits.
Yeah,
I wrote down a couple of things I think already happened in the movie, but maybe not.
Go right ahead, man.
That part where he's playing drums in his bedroom, like watching.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah, but he was watching it looked like football follies. But
did you see the John Elway? The three major Elway plays.
Correct.
Yeah, lots of Elway, and I thought Matt maybe subliminally that's why you love this movie. It's like Elway in it.
But he had 3 great plays. There's also like a flea flicker play at the very end. I was like, this is fantastic.
Flea flicker.
And then the other thing was, the Letterman jacket. Did you guys? I had one of those.
I did. I didn't get one.
I had one like for St. Margaret Mary's football with the patches, and then at McDevitt, I had one like that. But I don't think kids do that anymore.
No, they don't. Now, so I didn't utilize a Letterman jacket. All we got was a letter. You got to find your own goddamn jacket.
Yes, and we'd go to like Strainings, I think it was called, or one of those places.
You remember Nick used to have a real cool one with the leather. It had the gold leather sleeves.
Yes,
but he had like 9 patches on it.
Right.
Like pins and stuff. Or like, man, where'd you get those?
I know, right? But I thought that was pretty cool. And then the drive-in scene. What the hell was that movie playing? It was like
was it like a Western or
no? Like it was like the
movie,
black guy and a white girl kind of like singing and dancing around.
So fun. This is part of the fun facts, but since you ask, because I only got 3 fun facts.
Okay.
The movie playing in that drive-in is called Putney Swope.
Oh.
So that movie was written and directed by Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was released in 1969. And in 2016, it was added to the U.S. National Film Registry in the Library of Congress.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember like the music part of it, like when the scene started up and they were at the drive-in, like I kind of remember that part. And then the coach pulls up in his Pacer.
Yeah.
The little car.
So I'm watching that. Dude, as soon as I saw that, I pulled out my phone. I started looking for resto mod Pacers or like custom Pacers. You can do a lot, or some people have done a lot with Pacers.
Is that what Wayne had? Or Garth?
Correct.
Garth had, I guess.
Wayne and Garth's was the Pacer. So it is interesting with regard to that movie, that Putney Swope, that it's actually about, it's a farcical story about basically, have either of you guys seen Mad Men? Remember that show?
I'm aware of it, but I've never watched it.
So it's all the shit that goes down in the advertising world on Madison Avenue in New York in the 60s. So that movie, that Putney Swope, is essentially that time, that story, that everything, but satirically done with this black guy who's working at he's like the token black guy or the only black guy that works at this all white advertising firm in New York.
Okay.
And he all of a sudden, for whatever reason, he gets pushed up to run the place.
Okay.
So yeah, it's again, like, think of it like a Mel Brooks in nature. It's again very sarcastic, very satirical, very whatever. But it's apparently it was good enough to get into the Library of Congress.
That's wild.
I'm gonna be there forever.
Yeah. But yeah, that made me laugh. That too. And he calls him Johnny Ballgame. I like that.
Johnny Ballgame.
Yeah, that's his nickname he gives him.
So that coach is a sellout son of a bitch.
Yeah, and that guy plays a douche in every movie.
He does. He plays a douche in everything. He was the douche principal from
Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. He was the douche chief of the police in Die Hard.
That's right.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, so I guess that coach, he wants a different job. So he's like, look, man, I'll bring Johnny with me, but you got to make me the head coach of Piermont.
Yeah, that's his meal ticket.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Was Johnny that good?
I mean, that's what I was like. If he's getting all that,
yeah,
like Penn State, Alabama, they were all there.
Yeah,
the recruiters. Let's talk about that. Like
there was like 9 people from Alabama.
Yeah, that was a cool look though. That was back in the day, like the football coaches and with the plaid.
Oh, sure,
and like Tom Landry, like dressing with the hat. I like that old school style.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they wouldn't wear like sweatsuits or sweatshirt on the side.
No, they were classy.
In the 80s, 70s and 80s. You didn't have that.
They were classy.
It's like 32 degrees outside. They have on like a suit jacket.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the coaches we have now, like McVay for the Rams. He's like a model or something, like just like, you know what I mean? He doesn't look like a throwback to those dudes. I don't even know if they're...
And the dude from the Dolphins coach looks like a serial killer.
That guy, yeah.
He's like a weird looking dude, man.
But they love him, man. The players love him for sure.
So while all of this is going on, Johnny Be Good here is Johnny Walker is courting Uma Thurman, the chief of police's daughter. The chief of police
that guy
can't stand Johnny Walker. Absolutely can't stand him.
He brought her home with a hickey, and it was a day late.
That's right.
That's right.
And it was a day late.
He's like, I brought you home a day late. I think that's why he's upset.
Yeah.
Johnny got some balls on him though, because like if you're dating a girl and their dad's a cop,
yeah,
you know what I mean. I would be like very respectful and kind of like he just like, I don't want to say he's disrespectful, but I guess he kind of is.
He is. He knows he's the town. He knows he's the town's celebrity because he's the best as there possibly could be at football. He's the local celebrity.
Right.
So he's dating the chief of police's daughter. Chief of police can't stand him. Chief of police grounds his daughters and forbids her from seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
He just rolls over to the house.
He don't care. Chief of police probably sucked at football.
He did suck at football. We saw that.
We did
challenges.
Well, I saw that pass.
We saw that in the pickup game when they covered the football on dog shit.
That's right. That was good.
That's not cool.
Not cool, man. Well, Johnny now faces deepening moral conflicts, struggling with the idea of accepting under-the-table deals, bribes, and the exploitations of young athletes that challenge his principles. In a heartfelt scene, Johnny visits a small, lesser-known college, State University, where he meets an old coach who speaks about the importance of character and education. This visit sparks a turning point for Johnny, prompting him to reflect on his values and the kind of person he wants to become. Later that night, however, Johnny and Leo end up in a compromising predicament involving a setup where the two find themselves in a hotel room with a group of women who ultimately accuse them of crimes they did not commit. With criminal charges looming, is signing with Piermont University, as directed by his dubious high school coach, now his only option for a promising future?
So sorry, go ahead, Matt.
No, I was just going to say the rating on this was PG-13.
Should have been R.
And I was like, was it PG-13 when we were?
I don't know, but I wanted to ask you. So I watched this on Pluto.
Yeah.
I don't know, how did you watch it?
Tubi.
I watched it also on Tubi.
Tubi. So we all watched the same, but there was a scene earlier. They showed nudity on this part.
100%.
With the three girls like
in the hotel.
Rape. But earlier there was a scene.
There was there were six boobies.
There were, and they showed them. But earlier there was a scene when they were playing that football game with the cop out in front of Uma Thurman's house, and the cheerleaders looked like they were flashing.
And with that, they were about to. At least on the Tubi version, you saw underboob.
Right.
You absolutely saw underboob, and then it flashed to the mom who was standing in the window looking out, and she looks out in horror to what you must assume
they saw.
She saw. Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking maybe they cut it out because it's on Tubi or Pluto or whatever, but then I saw it later.
I saw bosoms.
There was also the flesh-colored underwear. Remember, they said, "Oh, the cheerleader over there isn't wearing any underwear," so the whole team looks over. This is at the beginning, first scene,
right?
Yeah, it was just for Johnny. But yeah, I mean, she had nude underwear on, but if she's just doing some quick flippage,
you can tell back in the day with Resolution, you weren't going to catch that.
No, but I'm sure
guys were pausing it.
I was going to say any kid watching that movie was trying to pause it.
Absolutely.
You could never get it quite right too on VHS. It always would be faster than what you had to be like a quick hand.
Yeah, you kept trying.
Yeah.
And then it would judder. They're like the jitter.
Oh, you remember on those old boxes when you the porn channels?
Oh,
if you hit it the AB whatever button, you'd sit there tap it, tap.
Try to come in.
It clear it off for a second or two.
Yeah, that's right. On
my
Spice
cousin had to be like, I saw boobs.
Spice Channel. What kind of generation are we? Seriously, we got to be the only generation that was jerking off to scrambled television.
Right.
It was the music. I think the music alone.
Dun, dun, dun,
yeah.
Dun,
and you're like,
dun, dun,
ooh. You're like, yeah.
I like that one. It was like, dun, 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 dun. There was a couple of different songs.
Dear God.
So that motel, the No-Tell Motel.
No-Tell Motel Holiday Inn.
Did you catch that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple other things I wrote down on here. When he went to visit Uma Thurman she was working a grocery store and stuff.
She threw a chicken at him.
She did throw a chicken at him. So he was back there butchering. But I looked at some of the prices. I like doing that.
Sure.
I like to bring that up.
Sure. How much were cigarettes?
I was looking for that, but I couldn't find them. But 30 pounds of meat. And they had steaks in there, pork chops, looked like all kinds of good stuff.
So a meat bundle.
A meat bundle, you get 30 pounds for $46.50. That's a damn good deal for beef. Pork,
back then,
chicken.
that was pretty. Not many people were buying that.
Well, yeah, they were back then. That's
$46.50.
This is Texas, bro. It's all beef,
big meat.
All meat.
I see you're doing math in your head. So trying to figure out the per pound.
So I'm doing a per pound, and I'm coming out with $1.50 a pound. So, and that's not the worst. That's
I think it's fair for beef. Matt, you buy at Carnes and stuff?
Carnes, yeah. They got good chicken there.
I think I'm paying over there for beef, on sale, maybe $6.99 a pound.
Yeah.
I know there's something with Carnes, getting your ground beef and the bags, if
it grosses you out or what?
No. I like that.
Yeah,
as opposed to the grocery store where it's packaged in that styrofoam, the white styrofoam, and it's just bloody contents on the top.
Dude, when I was a kid,
I don't like that.
When I was a kid, we'd go down to Chubb's Market in High Spire, and at Chubb's, so you guys know the little the paper containers you would get French fries in, like you go to the concession stand or whatever. You get
the striped, the red and white.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. So you get that red and white. It's either a checkerboard, it's striped, it's whatever it is, but you'd get a pound of ground beef in that, and then it was wrapped in butcher paper.
Oh wow, yeah,
that's
pretty cool.
That's and they write the price with a black marker right on the top of it. It was awesome.
You know what I miss is the wax Coca-Cola cups. Remember those ones, the paper, and they had a wax coating around them, and you would get your Coke in it. You know, like if you went to like a baseball game or something.
Oh, the cups with the wax inside.
I got it.
Yes, the wax coating inside.
It was just wax all around.
Yeah, the top of it has a rounded lip, an ever so rounded lip.
Yeah, you always used to bite on the bottom part as a kid and straighten out the rounded lip.
That's correct.
You get crushed ice, and
that's right. You'd unwind the rounded lip with your
with your teeth.
Yeah,
but the crushed ice too. They don't have that very many places. I think like Sheetz.
Goddamn shame.
Sheetz has some good crushed ice.
Fuck Sheetz. I'm going to Wawa.
Yes, it's open today.
A couple of things I wrote down. I saw a sign for Ford, Lincoln, Mercury. We don't have Mercury anymore, so that was one thing that went away. I mean, that wasn't that long ago. And then also, there was a comment, I don't know if you guys caught this, so when he was at UCC, which I'm assuming is supposed to be USC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The guy there that's kind of the money man is taking around the facilities, and when he...
In his Mercedes.
When he
shows up and there's like 100 fucking slamming hot chicks.
Oh, yeah, L.A.
It's L.A., man, yeah.
On his way out, he's like, we're going to get you hooked up with some Adidas gear. How tall are you? He says 5'8". So he's a 5'8" quarterback. Yeah. And he's the number one prospect in the country. And I know it's 1988, but...
Come on now.
I think they messed that up because remember when he was like walking around, they said like a lot of the actors were shorter than him to try to make him look taller.
But they said 5'8".
Yeah.
I probably heard that back then. Was like, yes.
By now, we've already seen the... what's that called when somebody famous shows up and they're just...
the cameo.
Cameo. We saw the... Thank you. Jesus, sorry. Had a stroke.
No. Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon is correct. We saw him filming a commercial.
Mm-hmm. He was the man. I remember like Jim McMahon and the Bears. That was like 85. They won the Super Bowl, but he was still very relevant when this movie came out.
The Super Bowl Shuffle.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, for damn sure. I mean, he was still playing and he was still very relevant and he was definitely marketing himself.
He might have been at that time. He went from the Bears to the Eagles. Or
I think it was the Eagles.
I know he didn't finish his career in Chicago, but I don't know.
When they lost the defense.
Mailbagged that.
Slacked off.
Mail sack. Speaking of mail sacks, no, I'm good.
Now you got something?
No, I thought for whatever reason, I was thinking of the end of the movie, but we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
The shower scene?
It was actually I was thinking of the shower scene, but that was actually in the beginning.
Oh, what happened in there?
Well, no, because there's all these dudes, so they win the game.
Mm-hmm. And they're all in their pads.
They're still all wearing their pads. They brought chicks in there. Everybody's hanging out.
Wet T-shirts everywhere.
Coach gets the Gatorade thing dumped all over him.
Yeah, and then that's when Cosell calls. Yeah, we forgot about that part.
We did.
Cosell, and he's like, who likes you anyhow? And he's like, hangs up on him.
Howard Cosell.
Smoking a cigar there.
Yep, shaking.
Yes.
Like, yes, it's Johnny Walker there.
Yeah, that phone was shaking, man.
Well, he had that. He had the Parkinson's.
Is that what it was?
He had a bit of the Parks in him.
Yeah.
Makes a great martini. All right. The climax of the movie presents Johnny with a pivotal decision on signing day. A highly lucrative but morally dubious contract with a major university, or an opportunity to choose a more modest path that aligns with his values and the advice of the people he respects. After Coach Hissler, wrongly speaking on Johnny's behalf, announces that both Johnny and he will be moving on to Piermont University, Johnny's had enough. In an emotional confrontation, Johnny rejects the corrupt offer, choosing instead to stay true to himself, his family, and his friends. Johnny's decision sways the decisions of 4 other top contenders from his school, who all announce their objection to and rejection of Piermont University. The crowd goes bananas. In the midst of the chaos, that mysterious man who's been lurking about and following Johnny's every move reveals himself to be Floyd Gondol, an NCAA recruitment investigator. The 3 big universities are immediately called out for their violations of recruiting standards, and while the whole of the attendance is in disarray, we see Johnny, Leo, and Georgia walk away. Yeah, man, that was crazy.
Well, when they were recruiting him too, remember they came to his grandfather. He used to sell like those lures.
They bought 10,000 of them.
Yeah, 10,000 like jiggly wigglers or something. He's like, "What do you think they were to catch fish?"
Yeah.
The guy's like, "Oh, you hurt my feelings."
You feel bad for that.
Yeah,
old
I
man,
felt- yeah, I
you know
felt
what I
bad
mean?
You did, man. Come on, Grandpa Walker.
How about
He's
Johnny's?
dynamite.
How about back to that Johnny's outfit when he gets back from L.A.
That's
He had like
nice.
the purple,
The purple
and the
outfit,
gold
yeah,
with the
yeah.
Mercedes symbol and
Yeah.
all that. You forgot about all that stuff, but
It reminded me of his what he looked like when he came out of that bar from Weird Science.
yeah, you're right.
Yep.
You don't even have his license, Lisa.
And then the other thing was we didn't talk about the Cadillac with the bullhorns on the front.
Oh shit, that's right. When he was
Yeah.
down in Texas.
Yeah,
So
'cause-
I, for one, used to own my first automobile was a 1968 Pontiac Catalina, and on the hood of that car, I mounted bullhorns.
Bullhorns.
Where did you get those horns from? Is that like a order or something? Like, because there wasn't like a
No,
Amazon back then.
no,
or
there was no
anything.
such thing as the internets back then. At least not for us.
No.
I had gotten it. Maybe it was just starting out. That was 92 or 93. I got that car.
Yeah, there had to have been. Yeah,
No,
you
I'm
couldn't
sorry.
you couldn't have found those around here.
I got that
No.
car in 92, and I was.
Was it a farm show or something?
It was at a bull ride mania.
Oh, that makes sense.
At the farm
that
show.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Bull ride mania.
That probably came in from Texas itself. It was like flown in.
Sunday,
Yeah.
Sunday.
Be there. Was that Bull Ride Mania?
Shit, yeah.
I thought that was a monster truck.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I went to Bull Ride Mania. I was quoting Monster Truck. That's correct.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
But no, another is so Leo, he was leaning on him because he wasn't rich or anything. He just knew that he could like get his best friend in. That's why I wanted to go to like these schools.
Well, that's the thing. And since it's his best friend, he could. Leo
yeah, it was like,
knew
hey,
that-
work, get Leo in there too.
That's
with you.
correct.
I got you.
So
That's
everybody
part of
had
the deal.
everybody had their own motives. The coach had the motive that he wanted to move up in his career. Leo had the motive of, dude, go to one of these fancy schools because you can get me in. I'm a shitty football player, but you can get me in.
Yeah. And he got a Jeep out of the one.
There's that.
Oh, that was a nice. Yeah, that Laredo.
Yeah, it was like a Wrangler, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at a point in the not too distant future, we see Johnny running toward the office of State University's head coach. In the end, all Johnny really wanted was a good education and to play football. He begins his new life at the small college, where he excels both academically and athletically. The film closes with a final football game, mirroring the opening scene, but in a different context. Johnny's team wins the game, and he is celebrated not just as a sports star, but as someone who made a brave and principled decision. During the closing credits, we see the fallout and fates of the corrupt coaches and recruiters, including high school coach Hissler, who's now in jail.
Yeah. Hissler, who had pizzas delivered to his house for Hitler.
I got 20 pizzas for Hitler. Oh, it was the charge for that was like $200 and some.
Yeah, it was big money.
It was a lot of money. It was more than 20 pizzas, but yeah, he had that bill was $200 and some. Now $200 and some back in 1988. I mean, that's some quid.
That was a great scene. And I remember that part with the elephant, him punching the elephant.
That was a little over the top.
It was like, I can't believe like,
Still funny.
yeah, it was funny though.
Why would the coach take a fire extinguisher or whatever he did and hose his whole house with all that foam?
foam everybody down? Yeah. And they had like a bug
Yeah,
spray.
cockroach or some shit.
What
Yeah,
was that? Exterminator.
yeah.
He had an exterminator come in. They had a like that elephant. They had pizza delivery. They were drilling. I mean, they had like ordered every possible thing to disrupt this guy.
Yep.
So he ended up going to State University, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
So you wouldn't figure that as being that small of a school. Like usually the state universities in any state are usually
Yeah, you would
bigger
think.
universities. I just don't think it was as
Well, I don't know. Like for instance, like in Texas, you have Texas Tech, but then there is a Texas State, which is small. They were just playing last weekend.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, I mean, they were playing a decent, actually they're pretty good.
They're playing hack.
They were playing hack, but they were, yeah. So Texas State necessarily
Okay, so
state
yeah,
name doesn't mean
a
you're big
bigger
time.
school.
We're thinking of Penn State and Ohio
Well, not even
State.
that. Yeah, like any kind of you usually hear the name and it's like usually the big state school.
Mm-hmm. You would think, but I guess with Texas, yeah, Texas State. If they never really said what school.
Yeah, they didn't say.
And they used like I know that one that the Horny Toads. I think
Yep.
that's TCU is the Horned Frogs.
That's Texas Christian.
Yeah, so I don't know if they were mimicking them, and then the UCC obviously was USC,
Mhm.
but then Notre Dame they referenced Penn State, Alabama.
Yes, they did say that.
All
They
the
did.
major schools.
Yep.
Yeah,
So for a second, I thought they had said Kent State, but no, they said Penn State.
Penn State. Yeah,
For Dead in Ohio.
Nice. Oh, well done, Matt.
Thank you.
Oh, good reference.
Oh, that song,
well done.
yeah.
That's right, the Kent State shootings.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting as you guys talk about, or we're talking about earlier about NIL stuff. The dynamic of getting young athletes to colleges has really been upended. I mean, completely, 100% just flip flop. Like there's no such thing, no need for a scholarship anymore. There's no such thing as any kind of perk coming out of a school. It's now all coming from essentially the booster club. It's all coming from the people, the donors, the what's it called? Alumni.
Well, you know who Deion Sanders is, everybody.
Yeah, Shadir, his son.
Yeah, both his sons actually just bought him a mansion in Colorado with the money they're making from college football.
That's very nice.
There's a receiver at Colorado. He's a junior. His name is Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
He plays receiver and defensive back for Colorado.
So he goes both ways.
He goes both ways.
ACDC.
He has it's something like over $3 million in NIL deals.
Dang.
Now he's in college. He's getting educated. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of money, you know what I mean, to be made for these college athletes.
But it's all booster money, like kind of how this thing was, like the Texas team, just money that they give.
So what a difference in how much it's come around. So back in the day, like when this was happening, these kids, when they would go to school, if they were getting, like, let's say they were on a sports scholarship, they couldn't work. They weren't allowed to do anything. Just look, you're here to play football. We're not risking anything. And if you work, any money that you earn is going to just offset the scholarship you're given. So it's just going to go back to the school. Nowadays, I mean, Jesus, it's the complete polar opposite. Like you had just mentioned. I mean, they're making millions while still in school.
What were you going to say, Dave?
There was a kid, a lineman that I saw. This is a couple years ago. I think he went to Alabama. I think it was Alabama or like a school like that. And he had, I think it was like, I forget what fast food chain it was or something. He was a heavier kid. There was some picture of him when he was like younger, eating fast food or something like that. And they, before he even stepped on the college campus, signed him for, gave him an endorsement deal for like $1 million or something like that. So it's just crazy, the amount of money these kids can make, basically off of an endorsement.
Kids these days too I think they're getting recruited in 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Oh yeah,
they're starting to sign and say, yes, when I get to 11th grade, I will sign with whoever.
Right.
I always get a smile when you're watching the football games nowadays, and in the opening series, anything, you see the names of the linemen, and they say what college they were from or wherever they're from.
Mm-hmm.
Every 1 out of 10 is going to name a high school.
Oh yeah, some of them do that.
You need to see Key and Peele. They do the
that's a good one.
The college what was it? The college All-Star game.
Yeah. Mingles, or what's his name?
Mingles Jalif.
Mingles McCringleberry.
Yeah, Miles.
Back, or whatever. It's
Miles Jacob Riley III, University of Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's always funny.
Fun facts. Oh, that is funny.
That time, yeah.
Fun fact time.
We went from funny to fun fact.
Who wants to start off?
Well, I gave away a fun fact at the drive-in movie. So, what do you guys got?
Well, like we talked about that opening scene, or not opening scene, but scene in the beginning of the movie where the cheerleader was doing the flips and it was distracting the defense. Indeed, she did have nude colored underwear, so there was no nudity in that scene.
I got one. So, was it you, Dave, or possibly Matt that had mentioned introducing Uma Thurman? So, in fact, this was not Uma Thurman's first role, despite being credited at the beginning as introducing Uma Thurman. Her first movie was Kiss Daddy Goodnight.
Who was that with?
I don't know.
Some perv. Sounds like it.
Some perv called Daddy.
Let's see. Oh, hey, did anyone notice that? So when they're doing that pickup game with the 3 cops, with the chief and the 2 cops, and then it's Johnny and Leo and what's his name? Big Cheese. Big, that fucking fat dude.
The guy, the criminal.
That's right. Did anyone notice that did anyone notice that Johnny's hand is mysteriously no longer handcuffed behind his back when Big Cheese runs off with the ball during that pickup game?
Yeah, what had happened there?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so the chief had handcuffed it. I can do it. You're gonna have to do it with one hand, cuffed behind your back. And all of a sudden, Cheese is running off, and his hand isn't handcuffed anymore.
So maybe this was like a premonition or something, like a nod to the future. So in the scene where Anthony Michael Hall is playing drums in his bedroom and the football games on the little TV, there's a picture of Charlie Chaplin in the back, right behind him. And then later on, of course,
the poster?
Yeah, the poster. And of course, later on, his friend Robert Downey Jr. would play Charlie Chaplin in a movie. So.
And do an incredible job at that. That was a good movie.
It was a good one.
Really
I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember liking it.
Yeah, I respect it.
Yeah, for this movie, like you would think a movie like this would have like a bunch of like little fun facts, but they really don't mention too much.
There's not a lot.
Yeah, they really don't. Like, I mean, we pretty much covered them all.
This movie was kind of. It seems like this movie was kind of just rushed and pieced together to just put out there and try to make some money with some known names.
So that name that Robert Downey Sr. used, that Floyd Gondoli, was also used in by Philip Baker Hall's character in Boogie Nights.
Philip Seymour Hoffman?
No, Philip Baker Hall.
Oh,
his character in Boogie Nights, and it was Downey Sr. was in that movie as well, but they used that same name, I guess, in that movie.
Nice,
the one from this
Gondol.
And they talked about Anthony Michael Hall and Robert Downey Jr. all the movies they were in together. So we had Weird Science, Hail Caesar. Remember that?
I know it exists.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then they were on Saturday Night Live together, which I forgot about that. But there was a season of Saturday Night Live with like Robert Downey Jr. and Anthony Michael Hall and all those guys.
Yep.
No, I was trying to think like the soundtrack for this was like there wasn't anything really.
It was Judas Priest, right? That did the remake.
Judas Priest did a remake of Johnny Be Good.
But like it wasn't the original. Nothing really like stood out. But I guess they said the one song "Skin Tight" in this earned a nomination for a 1988 Golden Raspberry Award as the worst original song.
Really?
So yeah, so nothing good came out of the soundtrack, I guess, except for maybe the Judas Priest remake.
Not at all. Yeah.
So in an effort to maintain authenticity, which just surprised me, in the football scenes, the producers hired real football coaches and players to serve as consultants and extras, which I did not see that, like watching it in the beginning. It looked like basically, what was the one movie we were watching? The Goonies, maybe, in the beginning where they were showing like football practice. And then I was like, man, it's not realistic looking.
Right.
I just didn't think the football scenes were realistic.
Right.
But whatever. I mean, I didn't realize it until now I'm older looking back.
Or when Robert Downey Leo's character runs like the opposite way.
Yeah.
Then he turns and runs all the way back.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, there's not really a ton of fun facts, like you said. This movie was not really received well, like by critics and all that.
I can't imagine why.
Honestly,
like Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a horrible rating.
But the audience meter, I think, was half decent because I think like back then for kids, like if you were younger or whatever, you might have liked it. Mm-hmm. I think if you were like a serious cinephile and you were like, oh, I'm in the movies, it probably sucked.
Who with the what?
You know, people that are just.
I thought like I was not into like that weird kiddie shit or something. What did you say?
A cinephile.
Oh, okay.
Heard that?
No,
Matt, why aren't you looking up cinephile?
Because I asked real quick.
Okay.
But
what is the flagrante delicto?
Yeah.
Flagrante delicto.
But unlike like Mannequin, like when watching that again, I was like, man, this wasn't as good as I remember. But Johnny Be Good, I still enjoyed.
Fun. It was fun.
It was as fun as I remember, which I guess will get us to that part of the podcast where we late fee return or burn. Who wants to lead off?
Matt, why don't you lead off? You picked this movie.
Okay, yeah. Late fee return. I would say like the late fee part, but as a kid, I'd probably, because I'd be afraid of the late fee, I'd probably watch it again a bunch of times, have some friends come over in the morning, watch it, and then return it.
Yeah. I think as a kid, I would late fee it. Back then, I really liked it. I remember really liking it. This time around, I'd probably just return it. I'm not burning it. I mean, I still enjoyed it, like I said. Not as much as when I was a kid, but much more than I did with Mannequin. Like, as an example that just came up recently. This movie, still decent.
So I did not watch this as a kid. Mm-hmm. I can appreciate how both of you like this movie because you did see it as a kid. Mm-hmm. Like, you tell somebody today who might have never seen something like Three Amigos.
Yeah.
This is a great movie. You should watch this movie. You tell, even better, one of my favorites, Real Genius. Mm-hmm. You tell somebody today who's never seen Real Genius, dude, you should watch Real Genius. They're not going to get that same feeling, that same feeling, that same love, that same nostalgia that I would, having watched it so much at that time.
Well, there's a cheesiness to these movies today that didn't exist then, just because, like you said,
right,
the age that you were, the way you're watching it, and you thinking as a kid all this stuff, like this movie referring to like football. Oh, I could be that good. I can get recruited. This is going to happen. Real genius. Like, oh, I'm a smart kid. Like, I'm going to go to this really cool school and we're going to like
lasers.
Yeah, we're going to make lasers, and that's what I'm going to do when I grow up. But as an older person, when you're watching these, you don't feel the same because life has beat you down.
Hell yeah, it has.
You haven't.
Bringing a white man down.
It's just a wrong. You're not in the right state of mind.
That's right, man.
Your whole life has been halfway used up.
I can't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Seriously, I could not agree with you more.
But as a kid, there's nothing that's in your mind that you're like, I can do this, and it's so real at the time that these movies really bring that part out, bring out the nostalgia that you look back and be like, man, I could have done that.
So there was a couple of things that stuck out in this. The first one I'll talk about is it wasn't just but a couple of days ago I had watched Twister. So that was out in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the original.
So this was out, Johnny Be Good was out in the 80s.
Yes.
Not long ago, I'm sure I had seen a movie from the 70s. It is amazing to see the differences in cinematography and the feel of a movie from those particular, like just
decades.
Just
70s,
the difference
80s,
between
90s.
those decades. Hell, and it even changes in the 2000s. Like there's just such a difference in the feel, again, the motion of the movie, the everything. That's just a side. Now back to the movie. 3 things stuck out with me in this movie. 1, I didn't necessarily need to see Robert Downey Jr. reprise the same role that he basically played in Back to School.
Yeah.
That was, in my opinion, it was the same role.
Same character.
Same character, same mannerisms, same everything. Same goofball, same stupidity. It was the same character.
We didn't do Back to School, did we?
Not yet.
Oh,
Not yet.
That's a good one.
That's a good
But he did. You're right. I see that. But that's probably why it was cast.
Probably.
Just like this guy already played it.
That's
so.
right. We need a guy to play this part, and we need something to liven this up. And why do we need to liven it up? Point number 2. I don't think Anthony Michael Hall does well as a lead actor. I think he does well when he's accompanied or when he's sharing a lead, but not when he is the lead.
Who could have played that part and pulled it off? Your guys' opinion.
I thought he was good for it.
I was trying to think of somebody at the time that was hot at that time, and I did have a name in mind. I'll let you guys go.
Who was
Tom Cruise?
I'm thinking of like
he did all the right moves.
I'm thinking of like Lucas. Who was Matt Dillon in?
No, not in Lucas. That was Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. So I would say Matt Dillon could have pulled this off. I think he would have been a good lead.
I don't know. I think The Outsider screwed him.
I was thinking like Emilio Estevez, like somebody that's a little more like masculine. You know what I'm saying? Like
what do you think?
I guess maybe I'm thinking of like from The Breakfast Club. I think Anthony Michael Hall had a hard time.
But he had like that California kid kind of look to him.
He did, but I'm picking up what Dave's putting down. He had been in nerdy movies or a nerdy role. Like he played that again, like the quirky kid from Weird Science.
Pretty in Pink.
The nerd kid from The Breakfast Club. That's right.
Yeah, he was the
16
nerd.
Candles.
16 Candles. That's right.
So he had a retainer and all that, and now he's the quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it was tough to make that believable. And I guess the third point for me in this movie, the third thing I just didn't need or didn't like was just, I don't know, that goofiness of the 80s. It just seemed like a low budget. It really did seem like a low budget movie, like I don't know, like almost overacting, if that makes a difference.
I know what you mean.
I think they didn't even like really try to act. I just think they did like just had fun with the movie.
So out of respect, I won't say that I'd burn it, but I would return it as fast as I could.
Return it, okay.
I like that part there, the point counterpoint.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
I dig that.
I think that's an actual thing. Like it was on
Crossfire.
PBS.
It might have been.
Point counterpoint.
One other quote I liked from this. So when they're in jail, Robert Downey and Anthony Michael Hall's character, and the coach comes in and he goes, "Look here, if you're looking for sympathy from me," how's he say? "If you're looking for sympathy, that's between shit and syphilis in the dictionary," or something like that. He's like, "That's where you'll find it, because you're not going to find it with me." I was like, so he had a couple good quotes in that. Like I like his speech in the beginning, and then I like a couple of his lines. So
his speech in the beginning was very good. I enjoyed that a great deal to get those kids motivated.
Yeah, that got you hyped for the movie.
Yeah,
you were like, "Oh, I'm in it now."
I think I'm where you're at, Matt, on this. Like the nostalgia probably made us like it a little.
Yeah, we'll never be at that point in our lives ever.
Right.
I mean, it's just time. It's just the way, before life smacks you in the face.
That's where I am.
And gives you a throat punch.
Damn.
Well, that too, and you saw like you guys are saying.
I got a throat punch to the nuts.
Right. I saw this before I was in high school, so it was kind of like, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
get you hyped to go to high school. So I guess I got to watch Cocoon now, and I'll be hyped.
You never saw Cocoon?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, watch it now. That I'm like that'll be like, that's coming.
The next step.
That's the next step.
Yeah.
Isn't that with the old people?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Stephen King or something? Or no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, but I'm just trying to think.
It's like with the oatmeal guy.
Yeah.
Wilford Brimley.
Diabetes.
Yeah, that's a diabetes guy.
Yeah.
You're right. They find these cocoons and they put them in the pool, and everybody jumps in the pool,
and they feel like they're 22 again.
Everybody's exchanging STDs, and
so Cocoon's like our 16
It's like an old folks' home.
Yeah,
dude, do you guys know about that, right?
About what?
STDs at old folks' homes?
Yes, down in Florida.
It's crazy.
They have the golf carts and they go around. They live in their little villages.
Well, no, I mean, that happens, but I'm just saying in any old folks home, it doesn't necessarily have to be in Florida.
Well, no, but that's like the number one, like there's like a county in Florida. It's number one in the country for STDs. And it's because of these little communities of like over 55.
Okay.
And they basically live within these developments.
The villages.
Yeah.
They're
I think
all
it's
crossing
the radio station there.
They're crossing genitals.
Mm.
And everybody's just hooking up.
Gentles.
Yeah.
Touching butts.
It's crazy that we're almost there.
Yeah. We're working on it.
I blame Viagra.
Yeah.
There's that.
But Matt, man, awesome pick. Great for this time of year.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's the fall. I mean, you feel it in the air already. The games have already started. College football, you got pro football like 3 weeks in. Yeah. I just think it's a fun time to, just a little nostalgia for anybody that played, football growing up. And I don't know, it's just like a fun movie. If you get a chance, check it out.
Yeah. On a football note, check out on Netflix. It's about the Michigan sign stealer.
That's good.
In college.
I saw that.
Did you hear about that?
Mm-mm.
Like it was like a couple seasons ago. Michigan, last season I think it was going on. They got caught with one of their guys, I guess that was on their staff, stealing signs from other teams. Like he was flying out the games, and they have it's on Netflix. Untold is the name of the series, and it's one of the episodes. I watched it. It's great. If you're into that, football, even if you're not into football, it's a great documentary.
Yeah,
check it out. Untold, and just like an untold Michigan sign stealer or something like that.
But it's cool. This kid grew up a Michigan fan.
Yeah.
And he's selling out his own team.
No.
He took all the blame.
But then all of a sudden he goes and then he's like standing on the sideline. But like even the things he went through, like writing all that, it's very cool.
Okay.
It's a fun watch.
Okay. Yeah, he looked at the top 20 coaches of all time, and they all went in the military. They were all in the military. So he was like, well, I guess that's what I'm going to do to be a good coach. He went to the Naval Academy. It's a very interesting.
So he's not a dumb kid.
No.
So that's why and he would see, he's like, they got 4 or 5 coaches on the side, and which one do I pick out? Well, I pick out the one that the quarterback's looking right at.
Right.
He's like, what's bad about that? But yeah, it was kind of neat. I liked it.
It's very good.
It's very true, yeah.
But Zap, I guess you're up next, man, for the movie, so we'll find out. We'll leave them wondering here, but they'll find out.
I'll keep you guessing.
Yeah, so
will it be the triple Lindy?
Edging.
Maybe. We'll edge them.
Yeah.
We'll let them guess. So you guys got anything else?
I'm good.
All right, Matt, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, so I guess that's it. So don't forget to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Dirty Basement, on our TikTok at Old Dirty Basement Podcast. On Facebook, we still have the movie list. Don't be afraid to add to that. And I guess that's it for now. So we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for listening to The Vintage Cinema Review in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We outie 5000.